Well, hey guys, Steve here. Thanks for checking in today. I just got back from a ride a little while ago, showered up, got my latte right here, and I'm just chilling out. And I realized that it has been 6 years since I started mountain biking. Um, it's September-ish. Actually, I think probably was like when I first stepped on a mountain bike for the first time, but like right around this time, November was when it really kind of solidified, took hold, and I was like, wow, this is why haven't I done this before? And so truth of the story is I actually did. I did like a long time ago. Bought a bike, Iron Horse, I believe it was called. Um, and it just wasn't, there was no community around me. I just didn't know really what I was doing. There were no trails where I lived at all. So it was just it was a weird kind of like try to ride mountain bikes, but I just go into the woods and like ride through the woods, not on trails. It's kind of sucked. But anyway, it's been 6 years. I cannot believe it. 2019 or 2025 now, headed full speed into 2026, which is insane. But I kind of, I've done a lot of experimenting and a lot of trial and error. And I wanted to share a couple of my this is kind of like my anniversary top picks for you guys. Especially if you're new to riding and you're going to fall into this unfortunate trap of the marketing is better than the meat. If you know what that means. In other words, someone will say, this is the best steak you've ever had. This is just it. This is nothing better. It's going to taste amazing. It's like butter. And then you try it and you're like, this tastes like a horse, dead one, like bad, terrible. And maybe to that person, if it was a personal recommendation, maybe they like their steak like horse, who knows? But there's a lot of personal preference here. But what I've done is gone through a couple of years now of trying different products. And what I'm about to list off, I got 5 recommendations for you guys. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But these are top recommendations for things that I pretty much use, and I absolutely use every single ride now. I don't go out on a ride without these things. And they have held up and stood the test of time. There's one item I will say that's newer to sort of the arsenal, but I'm gonna bank on and take to the bank the fact that this item isn't gonna go anywhere. As a matter of fact, to me, it's a kind of a breakthrough item you should definitely consider. But anyway, so I'm gonna kick things off. So number one, and by the way, most everything here is under $100 except for one item, and you can find it under 100. I'm just letting you know. But you're gonna have to search a little bit. But for the most part, all these items are things that you can go out. Your wife will not say, or your husband will not say, "Oh my God, what did you buy?" It's gonna be like, So anyway, jumping ahead. So number one is shorts. Sounds very boring, right? No, actually, shorts will suck up your life. You will get sucked into a vortex of mountain bike shorts. And there are shorts out there that are ridiculously expensive. I'm talking $200 and more for a pair of mountain bike shorts. No, don't do that. So number one, and I actually have 2 favorites, but they're from the same company. So I'm going to kind of pile these into the same. Number one are shorts by a company called Tasco. Matter of fact, look at that. I'm wearing one of their sweatshirts right now. Tasco makes a lot of really awesome apparel. They're based in California. Really the only issue I ever have with Tasco is the fact that they're like cold weather gloves are coming from somebody who's in Southern California. So they could be a little bit warmer, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about their shorts, and their shorts are amazing. They've got 2 shorts. One is called the Phantom Ultralights. They're amazing. You are going to find that you're going to see these expensive shorts, and they're tough, they're heavy. They're super heavy. Why do you need them? You don't need heavy shorts like that. Tascos are light. They're vented. It's literally a vented system, the way they're built. And they're awesome. And honestly, if you're out, it's 55 degrees or warmer, you're going to be warm. You're going to get heat up. Combine the good shorts with a decent chamois, and you've actually got a much cooler ride. So number one are the Phantom Lights, and number two are the Sessions. They're from the same, like I said, they're both from Tasco. Check them out, Tasco. Look right there. Stoke. So it's Tasco, Stoke, STOKE.com. And the beauty of Tasco also is they constantly have stuff on sale, and they have like a frequent flyer, like a rewards program where if you buy stuff, you kind of get points, and you'll accumulate more, and the more you get, the more you can get off, essentially. So, but they constantly have sales going on, and we're at the sale time right now. It is sale time, isn't it? It's almost Christmas. It's almost Thanksgiving. So they're going to crazy sales. But right now, actually, as I'm making this video, I just was on their site, kind of just double checking some information, make sure I have everything right. And there's a sale on right now for like 70% off some of their stuff. So definitely go check them out. They held up really great. They're cool. I've had two pair that I've had for 5 years. I found them about a year-ish, maybe not even a year after I started riding. And I picked up a pair, and I was like, why wouldn't everybody wear these? Yet I hear that people have never heard of them, which is insane. Tasco, amazing. They also make, and this is an extra, by the way, because not part of my 5, but they also make phenomenal gloves, which is why I kind of referenced the whole cold weather glove thing. But summer gloves, they make these really, really light, also part of their Phantom series, light gloves. So like when it's hot out, they're vented all on top, good grip in the front, great gloves. And then they make kind of like just great construction. Their gloves, I've never had their gloves fall apart on me. Every other glove I've ever had eventually kind of just falls apart. I have gloves of theirs, again, also for like the last 5 years. And I got to have enough now that I can kind of rotate through them. There is one pair, my favorite pair, these blue ones. They're like the California, this like logo and all, and they're just about, they're holding up fine. They just look weathered, but they're still going strong. So I keep them in the lineup. So anyway, so moving on. I said I was going to be fast, and I'm 7 minutes into this thing already. Okay, moving right along. A lot of these, so the first 3 items actually all connected up top here-ish. Well, not really, but kind of. The gloves lead into the grips. Grips are probably one of the most underrated products out there. I'd say they're probably right under the dropper. How, like, things that really improve your ride that people don't really consider a big component of improving your ride. Grips are huge. You've only got 2 to 3 points of contact at any point. You always have 1 point of contact, hopefully, and that is your hands are on the steering wheel. Your feet might bounce off the pedals, maybe if you wear flats, and your butt's definitely going to come off the seat, but your hands are going to stay on that grip, on those grips. So Ergon, E-R-G-O-N, Ergon makes the best grips on the planet. I have in my garage right now a drawer full of grips that just didn't make the cut. There's some that are okay. Like I've got PNWs in there. They're okay. Everyone. So there's different reasons, and needs in gloves. In grips. And so I want something that feels a certain way, and it is definitely personal preference. But Ergon makes these grips that are just ergonomy. It comes from ergonomics, and they don't make 5,000 products. Okay, they're focused on just a few things. One of them is saddles, seats, phenomenal, and number 2 is gloves. They make a couple of things. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, grips. I said gloves again. Grips. Grips are the best out there. So we'll start at the bottom. PNWs were like, okay. Everyone's heard of PNW pretty much. They make a bunch of different products. They make droppers. They make handlebars. They make things. They make grips. That's fine. The grips, I think they make grips just because they make handlebars, to be honest with you. They're all right. They're mediocre. Then the next one up, which is a very good, notable, like honorable mention, second place, is Race Face. Race Face makes kind of a similar concept to Ergon. And actually, there is even a bit of a similar look. Now, the feel is a little bit different. And one of the things I love about the Ergons are that almost every condition, they're grippy still. They're never slimy and slick, ever, right? They always got this like grip to them. So if you don't love gloves, by the way, I know there are some people that don't wear them, which I find odd, but whatever. Then ergons are phenomenal grips for you because they're going to give you that, you don't want your hands slipping when you get sweaty and wet. So ergons, and the particular ones that I love are called the GA2 Fat. Fat's a little bit bigger, and my hands are not like huge. They're not big. They're just, I'd say for my size, they're average size for me. I don't know what, anyway. So, but I broke this thumb. See, it doesn't bend more than that. And so coming around a handlebar for me, maybe that's why I like it a little bit more substantial. I got a better grip. But anyway, but they make a GA2 not fat. So if you don't like as thick, as meaty a handle grip, then try the GA2s with not the fat part. So, but the fats are phenomenal. And then there's a new one, there's like a V3 version 3 of a GA3, and that's got like this little lip, so it supports more of your palm. I'm guessing they're really leaning into the cross-country crew on that one. But anyway, they're phenomenal. Great company, great products, great, really great. Hold up great. I love them. I have the original pair I ever bought, but I bought a second pair because I thought, well, if everything happens to these, nothing's happened to them. They're brand new pair sitting in my garage, waiting for one day, or if I want to get another bike, I can put them on that bike. That's a good idea. You know what? I probably need to get another bike because I have these grips. I wonder how that would go over my wife if she'd really buy into that one. But anyway, moving on. Number 3 goes right along with the grips is handlebar. So there's a lot of controversy around this one, but I'm going to tell you, let's get all the crap out of the way. A lot of it comes down to where you ride and how you ride. So the more of a enduro-esque downhill oriented riding, the more it's going to matter. If you're pure cross country, nothing against cross countryers, although I personally don't. Anyway, your need though for the damping experience or effect is higher the more of feedback you're going to get from your bike because of the more enduro-like rockier terrain, jumps, things like that. So that the handlebar comes into play way more. So I also have a number of handlebars in my garage as well, and I'm really unimpressed with most of them. P&W was dismal. They are one of the most touted handlebars out there, and they're not great. So personally, it's not a great handlebar. There's a couple of others out there I have. I'm not going to list off all of them, but the number one Up Components makes up this. It's the V2 handlebar, and it's a carbon V. It's a V2 carbon, and it comes in 2 lengths, 800 mil and a 760 mil. I get the 800 because you can get what you want. I got the 800, and I like the feel. Some people go, your bars are too wide. I like the bars at that length personally. You certainly can get 760s. I had 760s before this, and it was okay. But for me, I feel good on the 8. That's fine. You do what you want. Now the risers, they have a 20 mil, 35 mil, and a 50 mil. I went with the 35 mil riser, and so it comes out and then comes up and out, and it sweeps back a little bit. Phenomenal, just great. Blows away every other handlebar I've ever used. Just changed the ride completely. Moving on, number 4 is shoes. So after you buy your mountain bike and you buy your helmet, which I've got a list, that's a bonus, but I'm going to jump ahead. You're going to buy shoes. So think about this. You buy your bike, buy a helmet, buy your shoes. Boom. You're covered. Head and shoes. Shoes need to stay on. You can't just use your tennis sneakers. It just doesn't work. You need to invest in a good pair of mountain bike shoes. 510s. Now there's a lot of them out there. 510 is the most diverse and the most applicable shoe you can buy. There's a lot of other companies that make them. Shimano themselves make them. Shimano I mentioned because Shimano has probably, I believe, the #1 clip-in system out there. And for me, they're the best. But I'm not talking about that. I'm imagining that you're getting on a bike. Like I said, you're new to this. And you're not going to ride clipless. You're going to ride on flats because you want to not die on your first ride. And you don't want to just stand around and then the first time you stop and you just tip over because you forgot. So we're getting on flats, but 510 has the most diverse selection of shoes. The widths, they have widths, which is amazing. They fit true to size. There's no weird sizing on them. You will wear a 10, buy a 10. You wear an 8, buy an 8. You wear a 12, buy a 12. Buy what you wear and they will fit you perfect. I use the 510 Freerider Pros. It's a flat pedal. It's for flat pedals, so it's flats. And they make Freerider Pro also in another version that you can get clipless as well. Don't do that right. Well, if you're going to start out, get the flats. But their clip-ins are also phenomenal. And they've got the BOA system on some of them. This is all, like I said, there's a very, very broad spectrum of shoes you can get from 510. And just under the Freerider line, this Freerider Pro, and then there's like ultras like beyond that. So look at them. But I got the Freerider Pro, which is a flat, and I've had those. These are my third pair in the 6 years that I've been riding. I got these about 2-ish years ago, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we'll call it. They look like new. They're phenomenal. They're in great shape. So highly recommended. Number 5 is the biggie. This is a biggie. This is one of those where I said earlier that everything's under 100, and these can come in. You got to watch. You got to check these out. I'm going to leave a link for most of these in the description. Hopefully this will help you. These are even the easiest to find, but to me, the Schwalbe tires, these new radials, are an absolute game changer. You got to check them out. You got to try them. The Albert are the ones I'm talking about that I can personally speak for. I did a video on them. I'll leave a link for that below here. Maybe they'll be like one of those things that pop up. You can link to that video right here. But don't do that yet because I don't want you to go anywhere. I want you to stay here and finish watching this. The Schwalbe Alberts radials. I bought the 29 by 2.5s. I got the trail version and I got the ultra soft compound. And I put that on the front tire. I did a whole trial thing like that. Blew my mind. There's stuff that you're going to hear all the time from the industry. You got to watch. Most of it's just marketing BS. There are a couple of things out there that are game changers. And this tire is a game changer. You watch, I guarantee you, mark this date. What do we got? It's November 13th. So I don't know when it's going to come out, but November 13th in 2025. And then only Schwalbe's got these tires. That's it. Nobody else. In a year, in 2 years, if you catch this in 2 years, you'll be like, what are you talking about? There's lots of radial tires out there. Schwalbe is the only one. I hope, because I guarantee you, these other manufacturers are looking out there and saying, these tires blow our tires away. I mean, we can't compete with these tires. What's the deal? We have to do this. We got to retool. We got to do it. They have to. There's no... I hate name dropping things, so I'm not going to say, but I got a friend of mine who's like a professional rider. The dude is like the best freaking trials rider in the world. And so his life is about sticking on stuff, you know what I mean? Like riding on things and getting up on things and like getting on top of stuff. And I mean, those tires don't work or they don't do their job and hold. You're going, not only could you get really hurt. I got a little excited there for a minute. I'm going to calm down. These tires give you an advantage. It's kind of like taking steroids, I guess is the best way I can put it. These tires are steroids. If you like to ride, they're going to make you best. You're going to make you the best. They're absolutely going to make you the best. You'll be the best rider ever. That's not true. But they will definitely, if you're a good rider, they will make you better. They will help you. Because they're going to give you confidence and inspire you. Schwalbe's got some magic sauce in here. I can't explain it. The Albert. There's also the Magic Marys. So you could do a Magic Mary in the front, Albert in the rear. You could do 2 Alberts. You could do 2 Magic Marys. Depends on where you live. You got to know your terrain and all that stuff like that. But that is my list of 5. And I mentioned a bonus, and I promised you a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus. You need a helmet. We started off, I kind of did allude to that. You need a helmet, and POC makes phenomenal helmets. POC, POC. The reason probably they're not always at the top of everybody's list is because they're expensive. So this is one of those items, as I mentioned, there's all these items except for one that's under $100. This is actually the bonus. So everything else I mentioned, you can find for under $100. Now, the one-up component bars, you're going to have to search for those because they usually run about $125. Just telling you. But the helmet, I'm about to tell you, it is over $100, like $150. You can find them also on sale. Don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you got last year's model, it's the same. It's the same. They just probably changed the logo on it. Now, POC, look, now they go, and when you buy a helmet, get a good one. From POC, every helmet's good. But, you know, you're going to spend probably $150 on a helmet. It's the most important piece of equipment you're going to wear. All this other stuff here, I got a little list, doesn't matter. You can go out in your tennis shoes, your flip-flops, and a tank top, and your bathing suit, and ride a bike. It does none of that, but you got to have a helmet. I say this because it's so important. Your life is worth it. Your head is worth it. And I've been really, really fortunate to only have a couple of like legitimate crashes. And out of all those times, my head's kind of only hit the ground like twice. Once was hard, and I had a helmet on, and it definitely helped keep me from getting knocked out and potentially like some really serious damage. So that helmet was done. Like when you have a crash like that, your helmet, you take it, you say, thank you very much, and then throw it out, get rid of it and get a new one. So anyway, there you go. I know I ended on a bit of an odd note there, but seriously though, get a good helmet. So, but POC makes really good helmets. So I've got little, as you've noticed, these little images have popped up over here. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As I mentioned, I'm going to list all these items in the description, which is either over here or it's going to be over there, I guess, or maybe it's over here. I'm not sure. But we're going to do a list for Christmas. I'm going to have 2 lists. As you know, I always do my discount list, which is to help you get going and get started as economically and feasibly as possible. And then I've got my like dream list. And that's for the folks that, you know, got some money to spend, but want that experience. So there you go. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for checking things out today. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.